Hello viewers. Got to put a new starter motor on my 2002 Nissan Xterra 3.3 V6. I've never actually put a starter on one of these before, so this will be the first time for me. But what I do know, based off other things, is you need to disconnect your battery. Because if you take that main lead off the starter solenoid, that's got direct power to the battery, and everything underneath there is a ground, so it'll be a bad deal. So super important, disconnect the battery first. Now let's roll underneath and see what we're dealing with. Okay, this is going to be difficult to see, but here's like the front passenger side of the car. There's the front tow hook. Then we'll follow the frame back. There's the CV axle for the passenger side. And then between that and the cross brace here for the, I don't know, I guess that's where it holds the front diff up. Right through there is the starter. Now my car has had a pretty decent rear main seal leak for quite a few years, which may have led to this thing going bad, although I'll tell you that thing up there looks original and it's got 250,000 miles on it, so either way. So I got there's a rubber protector over the lead for the power on the solenoid. So you push that back. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. And then there's a 12mm nut for the power lead. The bolts go through the bell housing and screw into the starter. So here's the transmission bell housing right here. Here's the passenger side converter. Here's the transmission oil pan. Just for reference, these are the transmission cooler lines right here. So you got a bolt right there, and up above you got another bolt right there. So I'm not sure what size those are yet, but I'm going to crack them loose. You should be able to get them out relatively easily, but I'll let you know. I got a flex head ratchet, so that's going to help me out. Okay, so I got them two bolts out. Lower one, and up there you can see the upper one. So they're 14mm heads on them. Up there I used a short socket because the long socket would hit the pipe here for the down pipe. And down here I used a long socket to get me my ratchet clear of this here a little easier so I could have some more room to turn it. Yeah, basically cracked them loose, and then I could spin them the rest of the way out by hand. I got the power lead unhooked, so now I should be able to move that starter around and see if I can figure out a way to unplug the signal wire. Okay, I got it out. It was super tight. I had to keep clocking it and turning it. It dropped down, turn a little more, drop down a little further. I'll show putting a new one in, but that one was so greasy that my hands were caked in grease and I didn't want to get it all over my camera. So anyway, I'm working on this, the signal wire, the front of the vehicle. Now we're in front of everything. There's the crank pulley. We got our cooler lines. You can see my copper wire, or my copper line going through there. And you see that plug right there? That's where it plugs in. So it unplugs right there. So what I'm doing with this brake line is when I start fishing the new starter up there, I'm going to attach that the solenoid signal wire to this brake line, so then I can pull it through where it needs to go. habit of getting bad parts when it's very difficult to change, and this is, I wouldn't say the most difficult starter so far, but it's not the easiest. It's kind of like a middle of the road starter. Okay, I'm pulling the brake line to try to get this fed back through. If it's working, I don't know. Let me get this thing now. To get this in, I just kept turning it, and then eventually it got it in there. Figure out how we need to go. There we go. So we got it up a little bit. I think that's pretty much all the way up there. Now let me see if I can get that brake line and connector pulled through, because it's a pretty tight gap. Would surprise me if I can't get it through now. And yeah, I just went underneath it, you know, make sure it's not going to be rubbing against anything hot, and then I zip tied the slack up to that harness that's right there. You'll see the harness that the other side of the connector is coming out of. Yeah, and I just plugged it back in. So I don't know, I guess the worst thing that can happen is it just won't start one day because something happened with that wire. Basically, you don't want it to drop down right here on the axle, because that, well, I think that only spins when it's in four-wheel drive, but you don't want it to be able to get tangled up with that or anything, touch the exhaust. You got the transmission cooler lines right there that do get pretty hot, but I mean, it's all going through that same area, so whatever. I just didn't zip tie it right to the cooler lines because I didn't want to melt through the wire. Okay, so I got that starter up there. I had to move the camera because I basically needed to look where it was at so I could see, but basically how I was doing it with the gear side down, and then you just keep turning it. Once you get it up into the pocket up there, you can kind of, it'll be upside down, but if you get the end of it started in the bell housing, it'll give you enough room to kind of twist it to where it's how it needs to be, like this. And then you got to make sure your main cable is not stuck behind it or anything, and then you can get it rotated around. Just kind of, I was watching here, and I had my hands back here on the bolts so I could line it up, and then put the two bolts back in and tighten them down.